The SOF is as I understand it, is a quiet. It's like air, you know. It's like air. He has no dynamic side. He wills, and angels come into existence to do what he wants them to do. He's a quiet heterosexual spirit. It's not divided. It's a completely integrated, quiet spirit. His quality is he doesn't even have a quality. The SOF doesn't have a quality. When he took measurements, now I have to reiterate that because this has been confusing me for years. I've been working on this passage for like literally 20 years, and I keep understanding it better and better. So he took measurements. What is he measuring? So this is my reiteration of that text. When the energy, this quiet energy, it's energy that's not vibrating. It's like white light. It's like you take white light and you pass it through a prism, it breaks up into the colors of the spectrum. So the energy of the SOF is like a white light. It's like air. It's just, you can't even perceive it. Okay. When you put it through a spectrum, when you put it through a filter, that breaks it down. It says when you took measurements, that's what it means. When the energy passed through the spectrum into the lower world, he measured it. It's like putting white light through a spectrum, and it breaks up into other colors. That's what this means when he took measurements. When the energy, the quiet, completely integrated energy passed through the spectrum or the channel that led to the lower world, it became colors. It became active energy, and each degree of vibration has its own color. So, when the energy passed through the spectrum into the lower world, he fashioned, meaning he formed, and that's an important word, fashion, because we always want to distinguish between fashioning and creating. The man was formed. That means the man is the result of the formation of a composite of multiple parts. Remember, the reptiles and the fowls were created, but the man was formed. The man is the composite of all the elements that were created, of the creation. So, when the energy passed through the spectrum into the lower world, he fashioned or he formed the colors or the energies. He formed them in a manner that they would be revealed or that they would show within the ring. He wanted them, he fashioned them, he fashioned this energy in such a way that you would see colors inside of the ring. And then this is diagram number 1. It just says energies, colors imprinted in the world below. So what I have here, the upper ring is distinguishing between the effluence and the effulgence. This effulgence, the substance in the middle, that is more or less, this is the supernal effulgence, and the ring was traced, That which condensed inside, I don't know whether it condensed, but that which attached itself to the inside of the ring so that it can emanate to a lower world is called the effluence. We don't see it here. On diagram number 1, it says this is the tracing and this is the effulgence. It's like drawing a circle in the middle of the air. And diagram number 2, we now have an effluence. The blue, they look like paramecium. The blue squiggles are effluence. The gray is effulgence. The effulgence is that which is outside that got inside of the circle. As if it were possible to draw a circle in the air, and then you would have an aspect of the air outside and an aspect of the air inside. So that's the effluence inside. And I'm showing this as the effulgence, that this is what's flowing. This is the essence of what's outside, and the effluence is what emanates from it, as I understand it. Let me read that again. could have made a mistake. Within the lamp, there issued a certain effluence. Yeah. This effulgence, the gray, is the effulgence. That's what was outside, that got inside, the effulgence. And from this effulgence, it emitted something of its own, which is called an effluence. And within the lamp, there issued a certain effluence from which colors, and colors are energies, were imprinted in the world below. So this effluence, this quiet air, so to speak, no vibration. Once it got inside of the ring, it emitted an effluence. It is some kind of what did I say here? A certain effluence. I know I looked the definition up, but I didn't write it down for you. So this effulgence, once it got inside of the ring, it started to be active, because to emit something you have to be active. So it became active and emitted these blue strings, and though that energy that was emitted, it appeared in the world below as different colors or as energy vibrating at different levels. Okay? Number 3, Reshith. The starting point to go, let me just read from my notes here. The most mysterious power, and this power is not named, is at the SOF. And the SOF is not active, so eventually it's called Elohim, but we don't know, it's just the power. It's a power that we cannot understand. The most mysterious, it's a mystery. The most mysterious power, enshrouded in the limitless, clave or cut as it were, without cleaving its void. Well, over here at the top, I think that I just repeated the world below with the effulgence in the middle and the colors imprinted below. It's sort of a repetition of number 2 over here. I reproduced it here in diagram number 3, so you could see it in relationship to the disc below. Because what's the difference between, in diagram number 3, what's the difference between the circle above and the circle below? What's the difference?
Blue color circle and a red color.
Well, that's true. I changed the color, the outer rim, but what else is different? What's the significant difference? What's this over here?
So there's a point.
A point, yeah. That's the significant difference. So this is what the Zohar is saying. In the midst of this ring with the different energies, there appeared a point, and that this point appeared without cutting the ring. Well, how could this point appear without cutting the ring? If it came from the left, it would cut the ring. If it came from the right, from the north, south, east, or west, it would cut the ring. How did it get in there without cutting the ring? The mystery is, brethren, that it came from a world that was behind this circle. This circle is called flatland. It's a 2-dimensional line that is in a curve. It's 2 dimensions. It has height and width, height and width. This point came from another dimension. It came from back here. I could stick my finger through the paper if I want to. All the other I'm going to hold this paper on the side. This piece of paper is flat. It's a 2-dimensional image or 2-dimensional cut. But there are many, many dimensions behind it. Unlimited dimensions behind it, infinite dimensions behind it. This point came from one of these dimensions back here. It came from a dimension, an unknown, mysterious dimension, and pierced through and appeared here as a point.